For that, I might have another kind of small building here, maybe. Okay, without making this. Um, Let me put it this way: I'm massing here. Okay, and then I'll be doing another massing here, maybe, and then extrude it like this, and maybe having the solid points on for this too. Pushing it down a bit and pushing these two, this like this. Okay, taking these and moving it down a lot. Okay, and move this down to sections. So let's maybe create this as well. And one thing we can do here, we can say ID. Now let's say option 1 and option 2. But before we do anything, let's preview this run off. And let's say option 2. And let's set multiple VRAPs, this one and this one, and say OK. And we have two sensors, right? Two surfaces outputs that are putting in as my massing. And I can change the name of this CS radiation to and click OK. And now let's run the analysis and see what we are going to have. Because now we are having two different buildings, and I'll be showing you how we can take these two buildings and maybe visualize them both or not visualize them all. So you see, if I preview this off, let's see what we are having here. The results are a bit off due to this geometry. So maybe what I can do here is to cancel this. Maybe the geometry may not be that valid here. So I'll just use these two, okay? And then see if they will work. And let's multiply this one, these two. So let's say like this, okay? Set multiple VRAPs, first and second, and then CS. Let's make sure we do everything right. And let's run this. And then we are going to see how things are looking. And we don't need to see them for 1 year, for 1 day. This looks a bit weird, but yeah, this looks a bit weird. I'm not sure why. Maybe if this is the result. So you see, we have how many grids here? We have 2 grids, 1 metric, and 2 values to override, and 1 false color. So it says, you see, solution accepted because of 2 different datas. We are having 2 different sources, 1 false color, and 1 single grid. So if we graph this, now we can see the results as expected, because if we don't graph this, it tries to put this information on top of here. So it's not related with the geometry, it's actually related with the data structure. So we fixed this as well. Okay, but now if I preview this off, and if I preview this off as well, but now what we see is we both see these grids, right? We both see these grids. So one thing we can do here, if we grab a list item, right? Or if we grab a data component here, and if we grab a stream filter, and we can put the gate here, we can put the grids, okay? Sensor to integer, Oops, this is not the grid. Or this is not the gate, sorry. So if we have this grids here, one thing we can do instead of filters, we can put the list item, right? If I put the list item, I will have only one grid, right? Let's see, what is that? So sensor grid 1, option 1, with option, with sensor grid option 1, option 2. Oh, because of the names, I assume. So one thing we can do here is to graph this, okay? And we'll graph the names. Let me check this. I'm not sure. Okay, I think I jumped to the conclusion too fast. So let's give it a second here. I just wanted to, yeah, it's now fixed. So what I wanted to see is I have two grids, right? And this is the first grid. So if I connect this, I have two grids, option 1, option 2 of the names are the same. So that might be the problem. So if I just come here and then say multi-line data, I think the names are going to be changed now, which is something I'm looking for rather than grafting. So let's see if things are working in the way that we want them to. Exactly. So now what we can say here is if you connect this grid instead of that one, like grid to here, grid to here, you see we only visualize this one, okay? And you can pull out a value list here, and then you can say checklist and put these two, and if you connect this, you see we have both results. Take this out, we have only this guy as my one, but this doesn't have the one. So one thing to make sure here is instead of this, like we can say option 1, this is going to be calling 0, and option 2 is going to be 1. And if I say okay to this, you see option 1 is this, and I say option 2 is this, option 1, option 2, or option 2 only. So that is, and of course we need to change this. And of course, if you want to change the date of the year, you can do that. So if we take it to, let's say, 9th month 9 and put this in, obviously we have to change this to month 9, which is September, which will give us better understanding on how the shades or the shadows are working on our analysis as well. So this being said, we are actually finalizing this playlist, concluding this playlist. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next ones with more features on crossover, environmental analysis, and so on and so forth. So please subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and I'll see you in the next one.